Hello. This video is about how to use the tools in your classroom. Hello. My name is Joanne Foster and I am with ZebraEnglish. I am a mentor teacher there and I interview applicants daily and also help teachers that are in the process of getting hired. Now, one question that we have a lot is about the tools that are up at the top. Now, with ZebraEnglish, I want to tell you, when I first started teaching with ZebraEnglish, I was like, oh my goodness, this is so mouse intensive. I was used to using my touch screen on my other platform, and I didn't have to use that mouse all the time. But with ZebraEnglish, you are continually in charge of everything, which is good on one hand because you don't have to worry about the students marking all over your screen or controlling different tools that you're trying to get them to stop that, or you're having to stop their access to them. So that is good in that respect. But at the same time, you as a teacher are continually clicking and moving the mouse and keeping everything going. And at one time, I got tennis elbow because I was up here with my mouse and I was doing this and not even thinking about that. Once I did that for about a month, then my elbow was having a lot of pain in it. And my PT friend said, "You have tennis elbow from how you're holding it when you're teaching." And so we had to get it at a relaxed angle. So what I had to do was put a little prop under it. Like I set my mouse on a box so that my alignment of my arm was natural and not kicked up here to the side. So anyway, just a little side note about that. Beware when you're working with ZebraEnglish that it is very mouse intensive. Don't get tennis elbow like I did. But let's talk a little bit about the tools, okay? So when you're doing that demo and you're applying, you need to know how all of the tools work. Now, it's very important that you know how the tools work because this is what's going to present you as prepared and professional when you're in that classroom, and especially when you're in that demo. In a demo, you always want to stand out. Not stand out because you don't know how to use the tools, but you want to stand out that you are prepared, you've put a lot of effort into it, you have studied it, and you can bring your best to this demo. Because if you can do it for the demo, then you can do it for your classroom. And that's going to make a successful classroom for you, and that's also going to make the parents happy with ZebraEnglish. Because if you're not prepared, then ZebraEnglish is going to get a bad rap for their teachers that they hire, and then you are going to be frustrated because you're not going to get future bookings or have those trials convert into regulars. All right, so let's be professional, let's be prepared, and let's talk about the tools. So number one, when you get into that demo, you're going to be tested on the tools. There is a permanent marker up to the top left. You're going to click on that, and you can make differing marks with it. Now there's 3 different thicknesses of marks that you can make, and there's 3 different colors that you can use. So you can make those choices. Now what you need to know about that permanent marker is that when you use that permanent marker, your games cannot work. They are not going to activate. So if you have a game that's not working, that should trigger your mind to think, I think I have the permanent marker on. So just click it back off, and then those games will work. Now, there's another marker that I like and I use all the time. It's the disappearing marker. It's called the magic marker, but it's the right click of your mouse. You can also do it on your touchpad, but I'm not that talented. So if you don't have a mouse, then this is a good time to get one, because the right click, you just hold that down, and as you move your mouse, it's a disappearing line. And if you want it to be more steady under a word so that it stays under that word, or more permanent like, then you just move it slower, and I can keep that line under each word as they're reading. You can circle over and over with it, and it keeps that line circling around and highlighting that word or that letter that they left off, or you're circling this object and asking what it is. So the magic marker is my favorite between the permanent and the magic. Okay. And you don't have to worry about turning it off and on. But now in your demo, you will have to demonstrate that you can use both of them, but also in the lesson you have to demonstrate that you will use both of them. Okay, so if you want to use the magic marker more than you want to use the permanent marker, you need to show that you can use the permanent marker, like maybe on the intro slide, on the culture slide, maybe the phonics, and then maybe the presentation slide, and you use the magic marker for the other slides. But remember, again, if you use that magic marker, keep that magic marker line under the words. You can't just use it like this and it's disappeared. That's like you're not annotating, underlining, and they want you to underline everything that the student says. So in role play, when that student has to speak, you underline it. If they're reading a sentence, you underline it. If they're reading a word, you can either circle it or you underline it. Underline everything that helps the student focus and for their eyes to track what they're reading on the screen. Okay, so that's the permanent marker, the magic marker. Then you want to click big face. Well, no, I'm sorry, before that, there is an undo arrow. That undo arrow will take away your last mark. So if you wrote the word, let's see, tube, and you wanted to take off the E and change it to tub, maybe you want to show short and long vowel for some reason, well, you can just hit that undo and it will take off that E and it'll be tub. So that's how you can use the undo. The arrow means that it'll just take off your last mark that you made. Now there's a paintbrush, and that is clean sweep, and that means it'll take off every mark that you've put on the board. So if you've underlined all these words and circled all these pictures and now you're ready to move on, you can just hit clean sweep and it takes it all off. Or if you did it under a game, like the What's Missing card game, and you have circles around each one, and now you want to mix the cards up, well, those circles are going to stay there unless you clear them off. So before you mix the cards, then hit clean sweep and it takes those circles off. Okay, now we'll move on to big face. Now with big face, you just click that, and what it does is instead of having two, you and the student over here to the side and the slides here, it takes the whole area and it puts you and the student side by side in your cameras. So now you have bigger pictures of your face and you can work with pronunciation. So that's big face. So you want to click the big face, and I say it kicks you up into it, but it puts you side by side, and that's all that you see on the screen. Then you can click it again and it changes it back to the normal lesson over here on the side, and then your two cameras over here on top of each other. All right, so that's big face. Big face is great for error correction and practicing those pronunciation slides. So that's where I use big face. Or anything else you want to work on when you want to look at the student or have them practice something. All right, next to big face, then you have the reward button. Now the reward button, that's the zebra coins. Now you can click it up at the top. That will give you 3 zebra coins, or down where it tallies the zebra coins in the student camera area. You can also click it down there, and that will also give the 3 zebra coins. Now the lucky boxes, when you click those, now remember the student can click the lucky box. So when the student clicks the lucky box, then they can get 10 zebra coins with each lucky box that they click. All right, the zebra coins do earn them items in their little shopping market that they get to go to. All right, they earn ones in their AI curriculum, and then they earn ones in our classes too. So we try to we shoot for 100 or more every class. Now they say the minimum is 80, but go beyond that. Now in your demo, you have less slides, you have a less period of time. Now they tell you only have to have 50 as your minimum that you have to give, but still applicants will go up to 100 or some even over 100 when they're giving out those zebra coins. So that's the reward button, or it's called award, up at the top and then down on their slide. The next one is sticker. Now you click any of the stickers that you see little icons for at the top, it'll bring it down on the slide, and then you click it on the slide again, and when you do, a little box comes around it. Well, then you can enlarge that sticker, or you can move that sticker around on the slide. Now something else that you'll need to take note of is there's a little red X underneath it when you click on that sticker, and that deletes it off the screen if you need to delete it. Because sometimes you click the wrong one, or you've clicked 2 or 3 and they're stacked on top of each other, and you don't need that many, or you're ready for it to be off of the screen. So just use that little red X. All right, then there's the fireman button. You'll need to know how to do that. You don't have to practice that in the demo, but you do need to know where the fireman button is. It's all the way to the right of the top of the slide when you're looking at it. And then there's the clock that's right up there, the class clock. Now, it's sort of right above the students. Well, actually, it's the teachers, right above the teacher's camera. And it is a clock that when it's time for the class to start, it doesn't count down, but a hand moves up to it and it's saying start class. And so then you click start class, and then that clock starts ticking. And it shows you how much class time has gone by as you're going through the class. Now, let me tell you something. If you have already been in class for a minute and you haven't clicked that start class button, maybe your student comes late, you have to keep those two in sync, because they're not going to be in sync with each other. It'll say 7:01 here, but it's just starting at 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds on the once you've done start class. So maybe if you came in a little bit late, or the student came in a little bit late, if something gets off like that, usually it's if the teacher comes in late because maybe it didn't load correctly or something, then you will be off between the time it is down here and the time it is on your class clock. So just keep up with that because it can make you a minute or two late for your next class if you're not looking at those correctly. So always look at your computer time and make sure that you know where you are with that class clock too. I hope I did not confuse anyone with that, but that is the class clock up there at the very top. All right, so I think that is basically all of the tools that are in the Zebra English classroom, and that will help you with your demo. All right, if you have any other questions, or if there is a tool that I have missed, because I do all of my videos just straight without any editing, except maybe splicing to take out some extra words, or just a little mess up, then but I do everything pretty much in my mind as I'm recording it. So if I miss something, then I will type it below in the comments, or you can type it in the comments too and ask me. All right, well, I think that is everything. Oh, there's one other button that's up at the top, and that is well, two others. One is you can check your system settings. Like you can check if your audio is coming through, your camera is coming through, and if your internet speed is supposed to be correct. But let me tell you this little tip about it. Internet speed doesn't usually line up in the classroom. So a lot of times it'll say that you don't have the speed that you need. So what you have to do is just test that on speedtest.net, and it will show you that your speed is fine. So I don't pay attention to that anymore. It used to bother me at first, and it does beginning teachers or applicants, but as long as your speed test runs fine on your computer, then you're fine. And then the other little button that's up there is the refresh button. So if you have something freezing or glitching, or the student says that they can't see you, then hit that refresh button and let the screen refresh. Okay, well, I think that is it, and I will see you the next time. Goodbye.